Okay guys, welcome dito sa ating channel. So ito na yung ating lesson 10 sa set theory. This is all about function. So I think tatagal to ng mga 5 or 6 na video kasi marami akong gustong ituro dito. Okay, so tandaan nyo lang to. Lahat ng function is a special type of relation. Okay, so lahat ng function is a relation pero hindi lahat ng function ay relation. Tandaan yan. Okay, so let's start. Definition. So function, let f be a relation from set A to B o set A to set B. Tandaan yan. Then f is a function from A to B denoted by f mapping from A to B. So yan yung base dyan, f mapping from A to B, or read that f is a function from A to B. So ang basa ko dyan, f a function mapping from A to B if and only if it satisfies the following. So number 1, yung domain daw ng f should be yung A o yung set A. So dapat yung domain of f is yung set A. Number 2, for all x element of A, for all y and z element of B, x, y element of f, and x, z element of f implies y is equal to z. So ano ibig sabihin nito ni function? Ang gusto niya mangyari, kung meron ka makitang 1, something, kunyari 1, 2, dapat makakita ka ng 1, something, pero yung something na yun equal din kay 2. So meaning, ang ayaw ni function makita ng 1, 2, tapos 1, 3, ayaw nyo nun. Kasi mangyari, 2 is not equal to 3. Yun ang ibig sabihin nito dito. Okay, so meron ako mga idadagdag na terminologies, tapos illustration about what is a function, ano yung kanyang mapping. So ito yung function natin. So let's say, ito yung ating set A. Okay, so may mga element siya dyan. Okay, let's say ito yung set B. Ito yung kanyang illustration. So let's say ito yung f of A, f of B, tapos ito yung kanyang something. So magdadagdag ako dito letter C, kunyari lang. Okay, so ito yung function. So meaning, ayan yung function ko. So ito yung kanyang drawing, ito yung mga domain niya. Yung domain niya may lamang A and B. Yung kanyang codomain, note, yung B, yung set B is the word codomain. Okay, so ulitin ko lang yung domain of f natin dito is yung the set containing A and B. So by the way, lalagyan ko dito ng mapping. Okay, so function yan. Next is yung domain of f is yung AB. Yung codomain, tandaan tong word na to, codomain, codom of f is the set containing f of A, f of B, and C. So ano si codomain? Si codomain is yung mismong B, yung laman ng set B. Pero may aware kayo dito sa run of f. Ano yung run of f? Ito yung range. Okay, so ano naman yung range? Yung range niya is just C, the set containing f of A and the set and f of B. So tandaan nyo, magkaiba si codomain saka si range. Hindi yan lagi equal. So mangyayari lang equal yan pag 1-to-1 correspondence. So mamaya pag-usapan natin what is a 1-to-1 correspondence. Okay, so tandaan nyo na hindi magkapareha si codomain saka si run. So ang idea dyan, si run of f is just a subset ni codomain. Codomain of f. Ayan yung idea dyan. Okay, tandaan yan. So explain ko tong mga to, yung A and B. Tandaan mo magiging function siya pag nangyayari tong dalawang condition na yan. Okay, so ito yung laging illustration natin. So mag-drawing ka ng something na ganyan. So sir, lagi bang ganyan parang oblong or what? Hindi naman, sa ibang book kasi minsan nagdo-drawing sila ng minsan kung ano-anong figure. So kahit ano naman talagang figure kasi sa topology, so i-describe mo yung set sa kahit anong figure. So dito lang usually nakasanayan kasi sa book or sa mga high school then senior high na ganyan yung function. Okay, so let's have example para ma-determine natin kung function o hindi. So ito yung usual way natin para ma-determine kung function o hindi. So examples, let A and B be sets such that A is equal to the set containing 1, 2, 3, 4 and B is equal to set containing 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Let F, G and H be a relation from A to B. Okay, so tama naman, no? So such that F is the set containing 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. G is the set containing 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 5. H is the set containing 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3, 3. Ngayon, determine natin kung yan ba ay mga functions. Okay, lahat yan ay relation. Tandaan nyo ha, lahat sila ay relation. So, ang gusto lang natin malaman kung si f ba, si g ba, o si h ay function. Okay, so let's say ito yung f. Okay, so ito yung f natin. F is the set containing 1, 2. Rewrite ko lang. 2, 3. 3, 4. 4, 5. Okay, so una, anong test? So, dapat, ang domain daw nung f o yung domain nung atin is yung A. Okay, so check nga natin ano yung domain of f na to. Ang domain of f natin is equal to the set containing, ang domain niya is 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, which is equal sa set A natin. Okay, so therefore, tama pa. Tama, ang domain pa ng f natin is yung mismong A o yung unang part. Ngayon, check natin yung condition 2. So, condition 2, ang sabi na condition 2, for all x element of A, for all y and z element of B. So, lagay ko lang for all x element ng A, for all y and z element of B. Okay, so check natin to. So, tingnan natin yung mga value. May nakita akong 1, 2. Okay, ang sabi kasi, x, y, element ng f, x, z, element of f, then y is equal to z. So, nakita ko ng 1, 2. Okay, so, 1, 2 is an element of f. Okay, and, meron ka ba bang nakitang 1, something? Pero wala na po. Ang nakikita ko lang na 1, something is just 1, 2 pa rin po. So, that is 1, 2 element of f. This implies that 2 is equal to 2. So, ibig sabihin, ano nangyari? Pag wala ka na makitang 1, something na iba, ang ilalagay mo na lang siya ng ulit. So, ang gusto ni function, wala ka na dapat makita na 1, something aside from sa sarili na. Tulad nito, 2, 3, wala ka na makikitang 2, something. 3, 4, wala ka na rin makikitang 3, 4 sa loob ng relation. 4, 5, wala ka na rin makikitang 4, something sa loob. So, sir, lahat po ba isusulat namin? Kahit isa lang, pag gusto mo mag-show na function siya, okay na. Okay, tandaan to, kahit isa lang yung ilagay ko dito, basta satisfy ka na function siya. Okay, so since satisfy natin yung domain of f, kasi yung for all x element of A, for all y and z element of B, ito yung nangyayari. Therefore, so, f is a function. Okay, so ganun lang siya kasimple i-prove. Okay, so letter G. Try natin si letter G. So for letter G, medyo mahaba. This is the set containing 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, and 4, 5. Okay, so i-check ulit natin. Ano yung kanyang domain? So, test 1. What is the domain of G? So, tandaan na, domain of G na. So, domain of G is 1, 1. So, sir, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, since 1, 1 yun, isa na lang lalagay ko. So, that is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which is equal to A. So, okay pa rin tayo na domain of G is equal to A. Pero, check pala natin yung pangalawa. So, for letter B condition, so, dito, nakakita ko, tingnan nyo nakakita kasi ako ng 1, 2. So, tingnan nito mabuti. Nakakita ako ng 1, 2 element of G and 1, 3 element of G. But this implies that 2 is not equal to 3. Okay, so tandaan nyo, nakakita lang ako ng isang example na kung saan na-violate niya yung condition letter B. Okay, so since na-violate niya yung condition letter B, so G is not a function. Okay, so tandaan nyo lang, yung condition to din talaga yung crucial sa ating definition. Then letter H, check natin letter H. H is the set containing 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3, 3. Okay, so let's have the domain of H. What is the domain of H? The domain of H is just 1, 2, 3. Okay, which is not equal to A. Na-reference natin sa taas kasi 1, 2, 3, 4 dapat eh. Okay, since yung domain of H is not equal to A, therefore this is not a function and no need to test na yung number 2. Okay, although yung letter B sinasatisfy niya, no? Sa letter B satisfy eh. Pero sa domain of H hindi siya. Okay, so therefore, H is not also a function. Okay, so ganyan lang kadali mag-determine kung function. Ngayon, sa mga susunod ko pang videos, bibigyan naman ako infinite sets, tapos formula yung nasa loob. So, inaaral ko pa kasi paano yung mas mabilis na way para maturo sa inyo. So, parang proving na you-show mo na function siya using yung dalawang condition. Okay, so for the meantime, ang ginagawa ko lang, finite set or finite relation kung saan kaya natin ma-determine kung yung domain ba ganito, tapos yung kanyang yung second condition B is nasa-satisfy. Okay, tandaan yan. Okay, then let's have remark dito. Sabi niya, if y is equal to f of x. Okay, tama naman yun. Pwede natin i-represent as y yun. Okay, then x comma y is an element of f. Tandaan nyo na, if y is equal to f of x, that is if and only if x comma y element of f. So, let's have example. F of x is equal to x plus 1. Okay, so evaluate ko una. So, let's try f of 1. F of 1 is equal to 1 plus 1, that is 2. That is if and only if, ano yun, that is 1, comma 2, element of f. Okay, so try natin. F of 2. F of 2 is 3, that is if and only if, that is 2, comma 3, element of f. Okay, based na sa condition, no? So, yun yung 1. So, 3, so 2, comma 3, element of f. Ganun lang maglagay. Lastly, kunwari f of negative 1 o f of 0. F of 0 is 1 based sa function. So that is if and only if. So that is 0, comma 1, element of f. F of negative 1. F of negative 1 is 0. That is if and only if negative 1, comma 0, element of f. Okay, so ganyan lang siya kasimple. So ito naman yung other way para ma-represent natin as set or as ordered pair yung ating function. Okay, so hoping na-get nyo itong part na to. So, let's proceed dun sa ating types or kinds of function. So, this is kinds of function. So, number 1 kind of function is the one-to-one functions. Okay, so ulit one-to-one functions. A function f mapping from A to B is one-to-one if for all x sub 1 and x sub 2 element of A, tandaan element ng ating domain A, we have f of x sub 1 is equal to f of x sub 2 implies x sub 1 is equal to x sub 2. So, tandaan yung kanyang condition na yan. So, ulit for all x sub 1, x sub 2 element of A, dapat yung f of x sub 1 equal sa f of x sub 2. So, pag inassume ko yun, dapat yung x sub 1 equal sa x sub 2. Ganun yung mangyari. So, now, for the meantime, lagyan mo natin ng illustration about dito. So, consider this example. Okay, so consider this function f. So, let's say ito yung ating domain x. Capital X yan. Then, this domain y. Okay, this is a function x. Function f. So, this is A, B, C. This is, kunyari, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so, consider natin ganyan yung mapping. Okay. So, note na siya ay one-to-one function. Bakit? Check mo f of A is equal to 1. Tama? F of A is equal to 1. F of B is equal to, F of A is equal to 1, F of B is equal to 2, F of C is equal to 4. So, ano ba ibig sabihin ng one-to-one function? Dapat ako, magmamap lang ako sa isa dun sa aking codomain. Dun sa aking codomain. So, yung mga element dito, dapat magmap lang ng isang beses sa isa na element sa codomain. Hindi siya pwede magmap sa more than dalawa or more than isa, I mean. So, kunyari, nagmap siya sa dalawa, hindi na siya one-to-one function. So, ito, F na to, so, f is a one-to-one function. Okay, so consider natin pangalawa. Ito naman. Para makita nyo. So, this is set x ulit. Then, this is set y. Okay, consider natin to sa ICG. Okay, so consider natin is A, B, C. Tapos ito ay 1, 2, 3, 4. So, nagmap siya dito. Nagmap siya ulit doon. Sorry, mali. Tong part ng tawag to. Okay, tapos nagmap siya ulit doon. Okay, so ulitin ko lang pala ang idea nito. Ang idea pala nito, yung sa domain, nalito ako. So ulit yung sa domain niya, dapat sa kada isang element, magmamap lang sa isang element sa codomain. So kunyari, may dalawang element sa domain na nagmap sa isang number dito, hindi na 1 to 1 yun. Kumbaga parang many to 1, ayaw niya nung many to 1. Ayun yung ayaw nitong 1 to 1 na to. So ito, tulad nito, napansin mo, yung f of b, kunyari, yung f of b ko, is equal to 2. Yung f of c ko, f of c ko is equal to 2 pa rin. Okay, so kung napansin mo dyan, dalawa yung nagmap dun sa isang element. Okay, so kung mapapansin mo, f of b, so kung napapansin mo, no, si f of b ay equal kay f of c. Pero this implies that p is not equal to c. Kasi hindi naman sila iisang element. Tama. So ulitin ko lang si f of b is 2. Si f of c is 2 pa rin. So ayusin ko lang dito. 2 pa rin yan. Tapos si f of b saka si f of c equal. Implies x sub 1 is equal to x sub 2. Kaso si b saka si c hindi sila equal dun sa domain natin. Okay, so ulitin ko lang. Ayaw ni 1 to 1 na maging many to 1. Yun ang ibig sabihin dito. Many to 1. So kunyari tatlo. So kung tatlo possible, nagmap pa rin. Ayaw pa rin yun. So, ang gusto nyo 1 to 1, dapat kada isang function, kada isang element ng domain, nagmap sa ibang element sa codomain. Okay? So, tandaan yun. Okay? So, ayun yung illustration. True illustration. Yun. Itong ginuhitan ko na yan, gagamitin naman natin yan para ma-show na yung isang function is 1 to 1. So, ulit hindi naman lagi illustration yung papagawa ni sir. Okay? So, examples. So, letter A. Let f be a function mapping from z to z. Tandaan mo, mapping from integers to integers. So, ibig sabihin, infinite yung pinag-uusapan. Define f of n is equal to 2n. Ngayon, we need to show that this is a 1-to-1 function. Okay? So, gamitin natin yung condition na for all x sub 1, x sub 2 element of a, we have f of x sub 1 equals to f of x sub 2 implies x sub 1 is equal to x sub 2. So, tandaan mo ito yung a natin. Ayun na magsulat. This is yung ating ayun na magsulat. Kuha kong ba yung water. So ito na yung A natin. Ito yung B. So nagbago lang konti. Okay? So ang sabi, test for 1 to 1. So let natin na x sub 1 and x sub 2 element of A. Ano yung A? Integers. Ulit let for all x sub 1, sabi kasi dun, for all x sub 1, x sub 2 element of A. So, ang ginawa ko, let x sub 1, x sub 2 element ng A, which is yung integers. Tandaan yung positioning. Okay? So, consider natin, ito yung gagawin. Consider f of x sub 1 equals f of x sub 2. Ngayon, ang tanong, sir, lagi bang ganyan? Yes, laging ganyan. Kung papansinin mo to, this is implication. I-assume ko to na true, isi-show ko na dapat x sub 1 is equal to x sub 2. Ayun yung ibig sabihin nitong 1 to 1. So, consider natin sa f of x sub 1 is equal to f of x sub 2. So, this implies that this is 2x sub 1. Bakit 2x sub 1? In-apply ko sa function. Equals 2x sub 2. Okay, then divide both side by 2. So, this is 2x sub 1 over 2 equals 2x sub 2 over 2. Which implies that x sub 1 is equal to x sub 2. Okay, so f is 1 to 1. Ganun siya kasimple. So, ano ibig sabihin niya in terms of illustration? So, let's say ito yung drawing. So, hindi ko kayang ilagay lahat ng element ng ating integers Okay, so ito yung ating illustration lang. So, let's say ito yung B, ito yung A, no, integers. Tapos going to integers, tapos ito yung function. Ito yung f. Okay? So, ano yung mga range na? So, dito kasi sa mga integers, that something, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, that something. Madami yan. Si negative 2, saan magmamap? Magmamap si negative 2 sa negative 4. Tama. So, magmamap siya kay negative 4. Okay, si negative 1 magmamap kay negative 2. Si 0 magmamap kay 0. Si 1 magmamap kay 2. Si 2 magmamap kay 4. Pero may matitira pa dyan. Si negative 3, si negative 1, si 1, si 3, si 5, that something. So kung napansin mo, yung run of f, ano yung run of f dito? Yung run of f, yung mga even numbers. Yung codomain, yung integers. Yung domain, yung integers. Pero yung run, yung range, hindi. Hindi lahat. Kaya tama yung sinasabi ni sir kanina na yung range of f is laging subset lang ni codomain natin. Okay, so tandaan na ang ating domain dito, domain of f is the set of integers. Ang codomain is the set of also the integers. Pero yung run of f is x such that x is equal to 2n for n element of integers. So in action of specification ko na lang siya. Okay, so ganyan. So sir, lagi po pong may illustration. So pinapakita ko lang illustration para ma-imagine mo yung ating pinag-uusapan dito. Okay, so ulit pinapakita ko illustration para ma-imagine mo. Hindi naman nire-require ni sir na lagyan mo na illustration lagi tuwing nagpo-prove. Okay, so let's have number 2, G. Okay, so for letter G or for letter B pala. So G is a function mapping from Z to Z ulit, ganun pa rin. So A to Z to Z defined by G of n is equal to n squared. Okay, so ganun ulit. Let natin. So let x sub 1 and x sub 2 element ng integers. Bakit integers? Ayun kasi yung A, tandaan yan. So that is consider natin si f of x sub 1, g of x sub 1, sorry. G of x sub 1 is equal to g of x sub 2. So this implies that x sub 1 squared is equal to x sub 2 squared. So pag tinake natin square root both sides, that is positive and negative x sub 1, positive and negative x sub 2. Okay, ngayon, hindi ko pa i-conclude na sir, equal na. No, hindi ko pwede i-conclude dyan. Okay? So, bakit sir? I-drawing ko muna para mas ma-imagine mo bakit ko sasabihin na hindi siya function. Kasi para sa akin hindi siya function. So, let's say ito yung ating integers. So, ito yung ating illustration. So, itong ating malaking hotdog. So, ito yung ating G. Okay, so, ganun let that something dahil integers. So, let's say, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, that. Okay. So, hindi ko para sinasabing hindi function. I mean, hindi hindi siya 1 to 1. Ayun pa yung ibig sabihin niya, sir. So, tulad na ito, si negative 2 saan magmamap? Si negative 2 magmamap kay positive 4. Si 2 rin magmamap kay positive 4. Tama. Also, si negative 1 magmamap kay 1. Si 1 magmamap kay 1. Si 0 magmamap kay 0. Pero madami pa dyan number. Tama? Alam mo na marami pa yung integers yan. So I mean, ang pinakita ko lang, nagmap eh. Nagmap kasi si negative 2. Saka si 2 kay 4. Pero si negative 2 hindi equal kay negative 4. So parang nangyari lang, si G of negative 2 equal kay G of 2. But this implies that negative 2 is not equal to 2. Okay, so parang 1 implies 0, that is 0. So therefore, G is not a 1-to-1 function. Okay, so pansin mo usually to pag x squared. Alam ko napapansin ko, ganito usually siya pag x squared. Pero kunyari sir, ginawa mo yung natural number. Kunyari pinalitan ko to. Kunyari sinet up ko to. Kunyari ganun, z mapping to n. So, ganun pa rin. Sir, ang ganun pa rin, sir. Kasi may negative 2 pa rin. Mag-map pa rin kay 4. Tama. Pero, kunyari, binaliktad ko. Ginawa ko tong n mapping to z. Possible yun. Okay? Kasi, nangyari, 1, 2, 3, something lang yung mag-i-start yung mga values. Okay? So, consider nyo rin to yung mga value dito. Ito rin yung mga magpapahirap dito sa subject ito. Madali yung solving, madali yung proving, pero yung mga laman o yung mga elements o yung mga pinanggagalingan na sets dapat naiintindihan mo rin paano. Okay, so let's have number 2 kinds of function. So una is 1-to-1 ulitin ko lang. So 1-to-1 for all x sub 1 x sub 2 element of A, f of x sub 1 is equal to f of x sub 2 implies x sub 1 equals x sub 2. Ayun lang naman ibig sabihin ng 1-to-1. Ayaw ni 1-to-1 ng many to 1. Okay, let's have number 2, onto function. So, a function f mapping from A to B is onto if for all y, so tingnan mo na, for all y element of B, so sa lahat daw ng y element of B, there exists x element of B such that y is equal to f of x. Ngayon, ano ba pinagkaiba niya kay 1 to 1? Si onto naman, ito yung kino-consider. So let's say ito yung ating function, ito yung ating drawing. So let's say ito yung A, ito yung B. Okay, so ito yung ating function f. Okay, ang sabi naman ni onto, magiging onto ako pag lahat ng element sa codomain ay may mag-e-exist na x element of A such that nagmamap sila dun. Okay, ulit ko lang. Ang concern naman ni onto, dapat lahat ng element dito, let's say C, E, F, G, somewhere dyan or somewhat sa kabila, may nag-e-exist. Okay, may mag-e-exist dapat na x na kung saan ito ay, may nag-e-exist dapat na mga values ng x na kung saan sila ay nagmap. Okay, so for example, ito ay 1, 2, 3, 4. So, ano ba, ulitin ko lang dapat lahat nung dito may nagmap sa kanila. May counterpart na nagmap dun sa ating domain. Okay, ayun yung ibig sabihin ni onto function. So, let's have more illustration para makita nyo. Okay, so, angat tayo. Let's have illustrations. Paano natin ibibigay yung example niyan? Okay, so consider natin itong una. Okay, so let's say ito yung ating x. Let's say ito yung ating g. Mukha na siyang mangga, sorry. Okay, so ito, ay sorry, pang y. Ito yung function f. Okay, so let's say ito yung 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so nagmap si 1 kay A. Nagmap si 2 kay C. Nagmap si 3 kay D. Nagmap si 4 kay E. Pero walang nagmap kay B. Okay, so kung napansin mo, si B, walang nagmap sa kanya. Okay, so therefore, dahil walang nagmap sa kanya, siya ay, so, F is not onto. Okay, so tandaan nyo na, ayun yung gustong mangyari, ayun yung binabayad, ayun yung way para ma-exact natin masabi na paano ba siya magiging hindi onto pag may isang element dun sa y na walang nagmap galing kay x. Okay, so ganyan mo siya dapat i-imaginein. So check natin to isang example. Let's say meron akong drawing ulit nito. Okay, so sorry kung mga hotdog. So x and y, let's say ito si g. Okay, so consider ito si 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meron si 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So ito yung mga kanya. Okay, so ito yung A, B, C, and D. Okay, so kunyari, si 2 nagmap kay C, si 4 nagmap kay C, si 3 nagmap kay B, si A nagmap kay A, si 5 nagmap kay D. Okay, so kung napansin mo, sir, lahat po ng codomain niya nagamit. Okay, si G ay onto. Nadaan si G onto. Okay, pero ito yung maaaring maging tanong, sir, si G po ba ay function? Yes, function siya. Kasi wala naman dyan nag-exist na one to many. Napansin mo, no? Wala naman dyan one to many. Okay, meron dyan many to one. Tama, no? May many to one dyan. 2 and 4, andyan kasi 2, C, saka si 4, C. May many to one. Pero wala dyang one to many. Okay, ayaw kasi ni function na maging one to many. Okay, so ngayon, kay onto, pwede sa kanya yung many to one. Kay 1 to 1, ayaw naman niya yung many to 1. Ang concern kasi ni onto, dapat lahat to makuha. Lahat ng sa codomain makuha. So, G, lagay ko lang so G is onto function. Okay, baka sabihin mo, sir, baka hindi yan function. Function yan, kahit i-check nyo pa. So, ilagay mo pa lahat, evaluate mo pa lahat ng element. Element yan, 1, A, 2, C, 3, B, 4, C, 5, D. Tama kung titignan mo. Okay, so, ayun yung illustration, true onto. Ngayon, check natin ulit. Yung kanina example, ngayon naman, prove naman natin, or paano naman siya ipoprove na onto. Without using illustration, paano naman natin show na ito ay onto or not. Okay, so let's have letter A. So similar example sa kanina. So bakit gumamit ako ng similar example? For the sake na maintindihan din ng iba na hindi to on, ito 1 to 1 pero hindi on to. So, sir, meaning hindi to 1, hindi to on to. Yes, hindi to on to. Pero, explain ko muna bakit. Okay, so, let f be a function mapping from G to Z defined by f of n is equal to 2n. So, tandaan mo yung mga domain sa codomain. Si domain is integers, si codomain is integers also. Okay, so, check natin. So, ang sabi, for all y, element of B, so, ito yung A, ito yung A, ito yung B. So, ito yung proof niya. So, for all y, element of B. So, rewrite ko dito sa baba. For all y, element of integers. Kasi integers doon. There exists x. Nire-write ko lang There exists x, element of A. So, there exists x, element of integers din dito. Okay, tignan mabuti. Such that f of x is equal to y, or such that y is equal to f of x, no? So f of x is equal to y. So kahit magpabaliktad, okay lang naman yun. Okay, so nire-rate ko lang yung sa taas based sa definition talaga natin. Okay, ito talaga yung gagamitin na nasa baba. Okay, kasi nga ginagamit ko na yung mga values doon. Okay, ngayon ay consider mo dyan yung f of x is equal to y. So consider natin. So consider y is equal to f of x. Okay, so if we consider y is equal to f of x, that is f of n. Tama? So that is y is equal to 2n. That is 2x pag in-apply sa function. Okay, ngayon, ang goal natin sa onto, isosolve natin yung values of x in terms of y. So meaning, ang matitira dapat sa right side lang, at matira lang x. Ayun yung goal dito. So this is divide both side by 2. So this is y over 2 is equal to x. Okay, ngayon i-rewrite ko lang. X is equal to y over 2. Ayan, check ko lang Lalagyan ko lang ng element. Abang ko lang. Ano si y? Si y galing kay integers. Tama. Pati ka lang Si y galing kay integers. So lahat ng value ng y, integers. Y divided by 2. So, integers divided by 2 ay equal kay x. Tama? Ay ngayon, saan ba galing sa x? Integers din. Tama ba? Sir, yes sir, integers din po. Pero, check mo yung mangyayari. Tignan mo Kung si y, 1. Tignan ko lang dito If y is equal to 1, what is x? X is equal to 1/2. Which is not an element of integers. Kasi, ulit si x kasi, galing lang lagi kay integers. Okay? So, ayun yung sinasabi ni Onto dito. Ito yung goal sa proving na to. So, anong nangyari? Y over 2, pag yung y 2, pag yung y even, yes, always siyang integer. Kasi, even divided by 2 is always an integer. Pero, if y is odd, ano mangyayari? X is a fraction. Okay? Since x is a fraction, therefore, yung x is equal to y over 2 is not always an element of integers. Okay? Kaya ganyan yung ilalagay ni sir. Okay? So, pag ginawa mong nilalagay mo ganyan, ibig sabihin, hindi ka pumapayag na sinatisfy na yung condition. So, since hindi na satisfy na yung condition, so, f is not onto. Okay, so ganun kasimple. So check mo to if y is equal to 1 or any odd number, x is equal to fraction, which is not an element of integers. Kasi tignan mo ko saan nang gagaling. Ayun yung pinaka main concern ko sa inyo, dapat na maintindihan nyo. Saan nang gagaling, saan pupunta, ano yung itsura. Okay, or anong klaseng structure siya. Okay, so let's have example letter B. So let G be a function mapping from Z to Z defined by f of n is equal to n plus 1. So ganun ulit, papakita ulit ni sir dito. So for all y, element of integers na, kasi yun yung sa pangalawa, there exists x, element of integers pa rin, kasi yun yung domain, such that y is equal to f of x. Kahit f of x equals to y, okay lang din naman yun. Okay, so let us consider. So consider si y is equal to f of x. Okay, so y is equal to x plus 1. So, gagaya ulit ng kanina, isolve mo siya in terms of x. So dapat yung x i-solve mo in terms of y. So this is y minus 1 is equal to x. Okay, so rewrite ko lang konti. X is equal to y minus 1. Element pa siya ng integers. O, nilagay ko na. So ngayon, tingnan niyo mabuti. Saan galing si y? Galing si y kay integers. Tama. So, any number, kahit ano ipalit mo kay y, integers yan. So, kunyari, integers minus 1, tandaan mo, integers minus 1 is always an integer. Tama. So, therefore, kahit anong integers i-minus ko sa 1, integers pa rin yun. So, therefore, ano si x? Si x, element ng integers. So, sir, tapos na ba? So, ilalagay mo to. So, f of y minus 1 is equal to f of equal to, diba, f of y minus 1, ilalagay mo doon. Okay, diba, f of x yan, diba, f of n yan. So that is y minus 1 plus 1, which is equal to y. Okay, so therefore, f of x is equal to y. Kasi ganyan yun eh. Diba? F of x, so f of y. Kasi x is equal to y minus 1. So, yung f of x, pinalitan ko ng y minus 1. Then, equals to y minus 1. Bakit y minus 1? Y minus 1, ito yung n. Y minus 1 plus 1. Therefore, f of x is equal to y. So, nakuha ko yung conclusion na yun. Okay, ayun yung sinasabi nito. So, sorry, g tayo. G pinag-uusapan. Nakakalito na yung term. Okay, so g. So, g is onto. Okay, and this is done. Gawin ko itong proving. Okay, kasi pumayag ako. So, kanina kasi, hindi ko siya ginawang proving kasi hindi siya onto. Okay, so hindi pwede yun eh. Pinrove mo, tapos anong nangyari, hindi siya onto, hindi mo na-satisfy. Therefore, hindi yun proving. Counter example yun nangyari. Okay, so hindi ko nilalagyan na done symbol. So, unlike naman dito, since na-prove ko, pumayag ako na siya ay onto, therefore, lagyan ko siya ng proof tapos ng done symbol. So, therefore, siya ay proving. Okay, so ulitin ko lang, may dalawang klase na tayo ng function. Una, 1 to 1. So, ayaw ni 1 to 1 ng 1 to many. Pangalawa, si 2. Si 2 naman, si onto. Paano si 2 onto? Si onto, gusto niya lahat nung nasa B na gamit. Okay, nasa codomain na gamit. Okay, and let's have the third example of ating function. Okay, the third kind of function is the one-to-one correspondence function. Okay, a function f a to b is a one-to-one correspondence. Again, iba siya kay one-to-one function. Okay, a one-to-one correspondent if it's both one-to-one and onto. So, ano ibig sabihin? Magiging one-to-one correspondence ako pag na-show ko, na-prove ko na ako ay one-to-one, na-prove ko na ako ay onto, therefore, ako ay one-to-one correspondence. Okay, so let's have illustration about this. Okay, so consider natin itong drawing ni sir. So, ulit, drawing ko tayo ng hotdog or something. So, ito si... So, ito yung x, ito yung y, ito yung ating f. Okay, so consider ito si A, B, C, D. Okay, ito si 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, ngayon, paano naman natin masasabi na siya ay one-to-one correspondence in terms of drawing? Balikan ko lang Sa one-to-one, paano sa one-to-one? Lahat nung nasa domain may pinagmapan sa codomain, pero dapat magkaiba. Kunyari, yung isa nagmap dito, isa nagmap dito. So, different dapat yung pinagmapan. Ayun yung one-to-one correspondent, one-to-one. Ngayon, pagdating ng onto, sa onto naman, lahat naman nung nasa codomain, dapat may nagmap mula kay X o dun sa ating set A o sa domain. Ngayon, ano naman din sa one-to-one correspondence? Pag pinagsama ko yung dalawa, ano ibig sabihin? Meaning, lahat nung meron sa X, may magmamap papunta kay sa Y, sa set Y. So, meaning, parang equivalent, kunyari, si A, tulad nito, nagmap siya kay 1, si B, nagmap kay 2, si C, nagmap kay 3, kay D, nagmap kay 4. Meaning, ano ibig sabihin? Lahat ng element dito, may pagmamapan sa lahat ng element sa Y. So, ibig sabihin, lahat na gamit dito, tapos, isa-isa silang nagmap. Kumbaga, meron silang partner sa kada isa. May partner mula kay X, may partner si A, doon kay Y, which is 1. Dito, may partner siya doon. So, kunyari, susulat ko to, as a relation. So F is the set containing A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, and D, 4. Okay, so function yan. Bakit? Yung domain ng F natin is A, B, C, D. Tapos wala nang A, something, wala nang B, something, wala nang C, something, wala nang D, something. So ito ay perfect example ng one-to-one correspondence function. Okay? So ito yung ating illustration. So tandaan mo ha, dapat siya ay onto at the same one-to-one and onto. So unang test is for one-to-one, pangalawang test is for onto. Okay, so let's have example. So, ito, show natin or itest natin ko sila ay one-to-one correspondence. Okay, so letter A, let S be a function mapping from R to R. So, nagbago, no? Real number to real number, meaning included nyo dyan yung irrational sa rational. May decimal, may percentage. So, lahat nandiyan dyan, nanigisip mo ng number. Basta real number, nandiyan dyan. Defined by S of R is equal to 5R. So, S of R para siyang pizza. Okay, so, S of R is equal to 5R. So, una natin test for 1-to-1. So, test for 1-to-1. Sir, bakit test ginagamit mo? Kasi hindi ko pa naman sinasabi na show that this is a 1-to-1 correspondence. So, for the meantime, test ko lang muna kung 1-to-1. Test ko siya kung onto. So, kunyari, hindi siya 1-to-1. Huwag mo na i-test sa onto. Right away, sabihin mo na, since this is not onto, since this is not 1-to-1, therefore, this is not 1-to-1 correspondence. Ganun lang naman lagi pinapaprove ko sa inyo. Kung napansin nyo, no? Dati sa reflexive, symmetric, sa ER, na kunyari, hindi reflexive, automatic, hindi na siya ER. Okay, so, tulad na to. So, lagay natin to, test for 1-to-1. So, ano yung test for 1-to-1? Let x sub 1 and x sub 2 element of real number. Bakit real number? Kasi ito yung set A. Ito yung set B. So, consider si S of x sub 1 equal kay S of x sub 2. Okay? And that is equivalent sa 5x sub 1 is equal to 5x sub 2. Then divide both side by 5. Okay, so that is 5x sub 1 over 5 equals 5x sub 2 over 5, which implies that x sub 1 is equal to x sub 2. So since from our assumption na s of x sub 1 is equal to s of x sub 2, napakita natin na x sub 1 is equal to x sub 2. Therefore, so S is 1-to-1. Okay, so tapos na tayo sa test for 1-to-1. Next, test for onto. Test for onto. Okay, so paano sa onto? For all y element of B. So ano yung bilatin? Real number. So that is for all y element of real number. There exists x element pa rin ng real number such that y is equal to f of x. Okay, so consider si y is equal to f of x. This is simply y is equal to 5x. And divide both side by 5. That is y over 5 is equal to x. Arrange ko lang konti. X is equal to y over 5. Ngayon, saan galing si y? Si y is any real number. Tama? So, si y is any real number. So, 0, negative, decimal or something. So, real number divided by 5 is always a real number. Never yan mag-undefined sa kahit anong values ng y. So, si x ba saan galing? Si x dapat real number eh. So, kahit anong palit ko ng y dyan, divide ko sa 5, lagi pa ring real number yon. So, therefore, this is an element of real number. Okay? So, lagay ko lang dito. So, y is equal to f of x, which is equal sa f of y over 5 kasi yun yung value, which is equal sa 5 y over 5, which is equal sa y. So f of x is equal to 5. So s, lagi ko nalilito. Lagi ako nalilito sa function. Dapat s to. Supposed to be dapat s. Ayun pa ha, hindi nabantayan ko. Anong function yung ginamit ko? Yun yung letter na ginagamit. So, s of x is equal to y. So, s is onto. Okay? Since, lagi ka lang dito, since S is both 1 to 1 and onto, therefore, S is a 1 to 1 correspondence. Okay, so ulit ito yung medyo nagkamali sir, pasensya na, yung lettering, kasi yung function is S eh. So y is equal to S of x, ganun dapat. Medyo hindi ko rin napansin kanina. Check ko rin. So ayun, okay naman sa mga kanina example. So tandaan din na yung number, yung letter, diyan ka rin probably diyan ka rin magkakamali. Okay, so let's have example number 2. So let t be a function mapping from R to R defined by t of R is equal to R squared. So kung napansin mo, sir, kanina sa integers pa nga lang hindi na siya 1 to 1 eh. Tama? Hindi na siya 1 to 1 sa integers eh. Ano pa kaya dito sa real number? So obviously kasi hindi siya 1 to 1. Kasi bakit? Dahil ko lang kunyari lang test for 1 to 1. Test for 1 to 1. Tapos ito-drawing ko na lang, ipapakita ko na ng true image. So hindi mo naman kailangan gawin na ganito. Pwede naman ipakita mo pa rin true solving. Tapos nangyari, sabi mo, hindi siya 1 to 1 since alam mo na ganito. So kunyari ganun ulit. Kunyari kumuha ko ng negative 1, tapos 1. Pares pa rin nagmamap yan kay 1 eh. Okay, even yung negative 0.01 saka 0.01, pares may pagmamapan yan. Okay, I don't know kung ano yung 0.01 squared. I-check ko lang, 0.01 square, that is, okay, so that is 0.0001. Okay, pares pa rin nag-map dyan. So obviously hindi siya 1 to 1. Okay, so ito yung mapping na t. Ito yung t, ito yung real number. Ay, ang kulit ni sir. Ito yung t, ito yung real number. So t is not 1 to 1. Okay, since t is not 1 to 1, then nagkakamali ako lagi. T is not a 1 to 1 correspondence. Okay, so tandaan yung ganyan value. Nakakalito din yung lettering something. Ay, yung letter. Hindi ko alam ba't binabago ko yung letter. Pasensya na rin about dyan. Okay, so huwag kayong magalala. Pagdating naman sa mga example, lalo doon sa next video, lagi ng F yung ginagamit ko. Okay, for the meantime kasi ibang letter para ma-appreciate mo yung paglalagay o yung pagsasalpak based sa definition. Okay, so letter C, let's have U mapping from R to R defined by U of R is equal to R minus 5. So obviously ito ay parang 1 to 1 at the same time onto eh. So base pa lang sa tingin ko 1 to 1 onto, 1 to 1 and onto na siya. So check natin, test for 1 to 1. Test for 1 to 1. So let x sub 1 and x sub 2 element ng real number. Ayun yung domain. Okay? So this is, consider natin si u of x sub 1 equal kay u of x sub 2. That is simply equal sa x sub 1 minus 5 equals x sub 2 minus 5. Bakit? Dahil doon pinalit ko. Next, this is equal sa x sub 1 is equal to x sub 2. Bakit? Pag nag-add ka both side or tinranspose mo yun, makaka-cancel yan eh. Okay, so u is a 1 to 1 function. So payag ako doon. Next is test for onto. Test for onto. Okay, so for all y, element of real number, sa kabila na, there exists x, element pa rin ng real number, such that, yung y is equal to u of x. Ayun, naayos ko na yung u. Okay, so consider natin, y is equal to u of x. So this is y is equal to x minus 5. So ano gagawin? Ang gagawin, solve natin yung values of x in terms of y. So this is simply y plus 5 is equal to x. Arrange konti. y is equal to y plus 5. Okay, ngayon, mag-decide ka. So, kaya ginagawa ko to, ikaw yung mismo mag-decide. Parang kausapin mo yung sarili mo. So, kunyari, si y, saan galing? Si y galing sa real number. So, any real number, mag-add ako ng 5. Real number ba? Yes. So, kunyari, nag-add ako ng 5, dapat x siya. So, real number kasi x eh. So, kunyari, nag-add ako ng any real number sa 5, real number pa rin ba? Yes, lagi siyang real number. So, this is always a element of real number. Okay, so, yung y is equal to u of x ay equal sa u of that is y plus 5. Okay, which is equal sa y plus 5 minus 5 based on which is equal sa y. Okay, so u of x is equal to y. So, u is onto. Okay, therefore, since siya ay 1-to-1, siya ay onto, therefore, u is a 1-to-1, u is a 1-to-1 correspondence. Okay, so ganun siya kasimple. Okay, so proceed pa tayo sa next video. Sa next topic pala natin, sorry. So let's have terminologies. So kinds of function. So una, one-to-one function, on-to function, one-to-one correspondence. Ayun yun, no, yung tatlo. So definition, lagay ko lang yung mga definition. So this is for all x sub 1, x sub 2, element of A. We have f of x sub 1 is equal to f of x sub 2 implies x sub 1 is equal to x sub 2. Okay, ngayon yung other term para kay one-to-one function is injective. Okay, or other term, injection. Walang magre-react ng kung ano-ano dyan. So, ulit ko lang, pag one-to-one, pwedeng injective or injection yung tawag mo. Okay, next is onto function. This is for all y. For all y, element of B. There exists x, element of A, such that y is equal to f of x. So, ang other term para kay onto is surjective. Then, other term is also surjection. So, sir, ano yung surjection? Sure ka dun. Pero joke lang yun, syempre. Okay, so surjection. So, surjective, surjection. So, ngayon, bakit nilalagay ni sir yan? Kunyari, pinrove mo, test for injective. Dapat sa sunod, test for surjective. So, kumbaga, parang naka-align sa wordings. Kunyari, sa katulad kanina, tinest for one-to-one, test for onto, then siya ay one-to-one correspondence. So, dito, test for injective, test for surjective, then something. Then, test for injection, test for surjection. So, ayoko na makita sa proving one-to-one, tapos bigla naging surjective or surjection. Ayoko nang ganun. Okay, lastly, one-to-one correspondence. So, dapat siya ay one-to-one and onto. No, lagay ko lang yan ha. So, other term para kay one-to-one correspondence is the bijective. Nabanggit ko pa. This is bijective and this is a bijection. Okay, so ulitin ko lang ha. Pag injective, surjective, therefore bijective. Injection, surjection, therefore bijection. Yan yun yung tamang term or parang align sa pagpuprove natin. Okay, so let's have another topic. So ito ay related pa rin sa lahat ng yan. So, inverse function. Let's have inverse function. Inverse function. If f is a function mapping from A to B, so a one-to-one correspondence, ulitin ko lang ha. If f mapping from A to B is a one-to-one correspondence, meaning bijective siya or in bijection, then there exists a function that takes every element of B to the element of A, such that f of x is equal to y. That function is called the inverse function of f and denoted by f raised to negative 1 or ang basa dyan f inverse. Okay, so ulitin ko lang, mag-exist si inverse function o si f inverse pag siya ay one-to-one correspondence. Kunyari, one-to-one lang siya, walang inversion. Kunyari, onto lang siya, walang inversion. Tandaan. Okay, so let's have illustration. So, tulad nung kanina, yung drawing ko lang kanina, naalala nyo yung sa one-to-one correspondence. Kunyari, babalik ta rin ko yun. Or lagay ko lang dito, kunyari, ibang example, A, B, C. Ito yung A. So, mapping from, ito yung 1, 2, 3. Let's say, nagmap siya dito. Nag-map doon, tas nag-map dyan. So, obviously naman, 1 to 1 pa rin yan. Okay, so ito yung F. Okay, so ano naman yung F inverse? So, since siya ay bijective, ito yung kanyang F inverse. Ang kanyang F inverse is, ito yung B, ito yung A. Okay, tapos ito yung ating F inverse. So, ito yung 1, 2, 3. Sila naman yung nagmamap. Ito, nagmap kay 3. Alam ko. Ito, nagmap kay si 2 sa nagmap kay C. Sorry. Ulit si 1 nagmap kay B. Yun, nabagtad ako. Okay, si 2 nagmap kay C. Si 3 nagmap kay A. Okay, so ganun lang. So anong nangyari lang, nabaliktad lang. So kung naalala niyo sa topic natin sa last video, siya parang inverse ng relation. Tama. So, 'di ba? Sa relation, 'di ba, function naman is relation. So, since yung relation pag in-inverse ko, nagbabaliktad yung coordinates. Dito rin ganun. So, sa inverse ng function, since sa function is relation, ngayon naman kung ako ay bijection, automatic yung inverse ko is babaliktarin mo lang din yung relation. So, meaning kung mapping o figure, babaliktarin ko lang yung figure, lalagyan ko lang din. Babaliktarin ko yung figure sa aking positioning. Okay, so sir, ba't naging ganyan position? Although pwede naman ganito pa rin yung position. Ang nangyari lang, isinulat ko na eh. So, kayo 1, 2, 3, saan siya nagmap? Ganun, kung saan napunta. Okay, pwede naman same ng drawing pa rin na mangyari. Okay, so ulitin ko lang ganyan yung gagawin. Ngayon, ayun yung figure, sorry. Ngayon, let's have example. So ngayon, ang gagawin natin, para mapabilis ng video, since naman sa next video is all about proving pa rin ng function. So, dito ang gagawin ko, pumayag ka na siya ay bijective. Okay, tulad na to. Let H be a mapping from Z to Z defined by H of n is equal to n plus 17. So, obviously, 1 to 1 siya. Kasi ilet mo yung x sub 1, x sub 2, makakancel lang yung 17. Okay? Next, obviously, siya ay onto. Bakit? Ang mangyari lang sa kanya is y is equal to x plus 17. So, x is equal to y minus 17. So, any integer minus 17 is always an integer. Therefore, onto pa rin siya. Since 1 to 1 siya at the same time onto, therefore, siya ay 1 to 1 correspondence. So, no need nang i-show. So, ulitin ko lang in-explain ko na lang through words kasi gusto ko mapabilis itong video na to. So, ngayon, ang gusto kong gawin, since payag ka na siya ay onto, siya ay 1 to 1 at siya ay 1 to 1 correspondence, to be specific or to be in general natin. Okay, so meaning nag-exist yung kanyang inverse. Ngayon, paano natin nahanapin yung inverse ng function? Okay, so to determine the inverse, to find H inverse, consider lang natin si y is equal to h of x. Okay, so ang gagawin ko dyan, y is equal to x plus 17. So, parang ito pa rin yung process nung ating ito pa rin yung process nung ating onto. Doon pa rin nag-umpisa. Ngayon, y is equal to x plus 17. After nyan, interchange dito. So, interchange x and y. Okay, so kung naalala nyo rin nung GenMath nyo, actually naturo to, no? Find the inverse or something, ganun yung ginagawa. Interchange mo x and y. So, pag na-interchange, this is x equals y plus 17. Then, we need to solve for y. Okay, so obviously that is x minus 17 is equal to y. Then, replace. So, replace y by f inverse of x. Sir, bakit? Kasi nag-interchange. Kasi in-interchange ay nagbago siya, nagpalit. So, since ito ay y, f of x, so this is f inverse, h inverse. Okay, that's h inverse of x is equal to x minus 70. Okay, so yun yung inverse. Or, since n yun, h inverse of n is equal to n minus 17. Okay, so ganyan siya kasimple. Ngayon, hindi mo na kailangan isulat to doon pag nagpo-prove tayo later on or pag naghahanap tayo ng inverse. Basta right away, interchange mo lang. Siguro yung interchange ilagay mo. Okay, so understood na sa akin. Pero yung solve for y, no need na yan. Replace yung y by h inverse of x, no need na rin yan. understandable na sa atin yan. Okay, so yung word lang na interchange x and y, doon lang siguro ako magiging critical pagdating dito sa solution ng paghanap ng inverse. So tandaan, hindi na part ng proving yung paghanap ng inverse. Si inverse din-determine, meaning sinosolve. So hindi siya part ng pag-show. So pag sinabing show that f has an inverse, ang gagawin mo lang, papakita mo lang na bijective siya. Pag napakita mo na bijective, automatic may inverse yun. No need to show o no need na hanapin yung kanyang inverse function. Pero pag sinabing find the inverse of the function, so meaning gagawin mo, pakita mo muna na bijective, then saka mong hanapin yung kanyang inverse. Ganun yung gagawin. Okay? So that's all for this video. Hoping na marami kang natutunan about this. So let us proceed dun sa ating next video, which is more proving problems about this function. So pag-uusapan natin lahat ng yan.